So last week I showed you some race wire. This week, I want to show you how to make LED race wire. Let's go. This video is brought to you by these patrons. Thank you for your support. Wait a minute. That's better. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I truly appreciate you coming back and punching that subscribe button for those of you who have already done it. This week I've got a good one for you. Last week I showed you some race wire, but this week I'm going to show you how to make it. But I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to show you how to make LED race wire. Now, I originally wasn't going to film this. I was coaxed into filming it. Some of you really wanted to see it. So I'm going to show you, this is me prototyping. So there's going to be some components and whatnot that I'm just going to choose. And I'm going to throw them on there. And I'm going to go into what will and won't work. So let's get into that. Let's go hit the computer and I'll show you how this is done. Okay, so the program that we're going to use is EZEDA. There are other programs. I have tried this in Eagle, and that program just seems to fight all along the way. So we're going to use this one. Now you can go ahead and click this download key and get the Windows, Linux, or Mac client. Download links are right here if you're interested in that. I'm going to go up here to the EZEDA designer, and I'm going to design it right on the web. Okay, so go ahead and start an account if you don't already have one. I already have one, so I'm going to go over here to project. I'm going to click on my name and click new project. We're going to call this race wire video and click save. That's going to give you a schematic. We're not going to use this. Go ahead and click on the race wire video folder, right click and scroll down to new PCB. That's going to give you a pop-up window here. We are going to select for this I'm going to do millimeters. We're going to do a 2-layer copper PCB board. You can do 4, 6, whatever, up to 34. That's lunacy. Board outline, we're going to go with rectangular. And then down here, we're going to select our width and height. For our width, we're going to go with 10. And for our height, we're going to go with 30. And click apply. Now, just a quick little navigation thing for this program. If you want to push and hold the right mouse key, you can kind of drag through wherever you need to go, and then I use the mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. So if you see me zooming in or just moving this around, that's how I'm doing it. You can zoom in and out with this if you don't have a mouse wheel, but mouse wheel rocks. So there's that. So let's start with the back. Let's go over here to layers and objects and click on copper. And then we're going to move our pencil to the bottom layer. Now we're going to go over here to PCB Tools and click on Rectangle. And to do a rectangle or something like that, you're just going to push the mouse key once and then release it. And then you can move the mouse to wherever you want. And that will be your copper. We don't want that, so we're going to Control Z to get rid of it. So I'm going to start here in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to click once, and I'm going to drag down to about here. And this is going to be one of our motor traces. Click again to place it down. Right-click to get rid of the crosshairs, and then right-click again and go to Attributes. The width on this, I'm going to go with 2.75, and the height, I'm going to go with 2.9. So I was close to where I wanted to be. Go ahead and click Update. I don't know why that just did that. Let's try again. Attributes. Our height. Oh, that's why. 29, not 2.9. Okay? Now, if you want to grab this and drag it to kind of centered up with the left top and bottom, you can. You can also use the keyboard keys to move it around. Sometimes the keyboard keys get a little funny there, though. I've had it where it will actually move the object up, but if I press the down key, it will actually move this whole thing. It's a little screwy. So I'm going to right mouse click that, and I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste it right next to that. I'm going to repeat that and paste it right next to that. Okay. So now I'm going to try to line these up as best as I can. We want enough space in between them so we don't arc from one trace to the next. If you feel like measuring them, you can hit the N key, and that's going to bring up the crosshairs, and we can kind of click right there and click right there and click right there. Okay, and that's 0.508. If I was able to line that up proper, as you can see, this thing kind of jumps. It'd be a little bit easier to measure that. It's probably 3.8 or something like that. 0.381 I think is the actual measurement. So I'm going to Control Z to get rid of that. Okay. The next step that I'm going to do here is go back to the top layer, and we're going to put some motor pads. So let's go and select rectangle again, and what we're going to do is just kind of make a square. Okay, I'm going to click on that, go to attributes, and before I do that, let me copy, and then I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste two more of these, one there and one there. Okay, and then I'm going to hit the Control key and select the other two. Then I'm going to right click, go to attributes, and click expose copper. And as you can see, they kind of turn purple. I'm going to click update. What it did here is it added a purple layer underneath our top layer. I guess that's just how the program signifies a exposed copper. So the next thing that we're going to do, if you are interested in having these offset, what you can do is drag that down. We're going to drag this down as well. And if you notice, you can't quite get it lined up, so we're going to just delete it. We're going to select this, and we're going to click expose copper. And sometimes that doesn't work, so we're going to go into attributes and expose copper. Now it worked. Okay. So sometimes the stuff over here does work, sometimes it doesn't. I like going to attributes, and that works for me. So if we go to photo view, you can see our motor pads are offset. For the sake of this video, we are not going to have offset pads. So I'm going to leave them like that. What I'm going to do now is hold Control and select all three, right click, copy, and now we're going to zoom all the way down to the bottom here and paste our three motor pads right here. Okay, and I'm gonna select them all again, and I just want to bounce them down. As you can see, I'm hitting the down arrow key, and for whatever reason it's moving the entire thing and not just the pads that I wanted. Now it worked. Okay, so let me select all three again, right click, attributes, expose copper, they all turn purple, and update. And let's go and check our photo view. Very good. Okay, so now the other thing you can do is go to 3D view. So here's the top, and then if we flip it over, here's the bottom. As you can see, here's our traces here, and then here's our motor traces. The issue that we have right now, though, is we have motor pads connected to nothing. So we need to connect the motor pads to the traces on the back. So that's relatively easy to do. We're going to go over here to this guy here. It's a circle with two lines on it. This is a via. Okay, it's going to give you this little circle guy. What you're going to do is just start placing these relatively even along the pad. You can use the crosshairs to kind of line yourself up with the corner pads. Okay, just like that. I'm going to right mouse click to get rid of it, and I'm going to hold Control, and I'm going to select all of them because this is not exactly where I want them. I want them right there. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to place that right there, copy and paste right there. Okay, now we're going to go to the top and repeat that process. We're going to paste right there, paste right there. Oh, see they're not lined up, so arrow keys, I can move them over and then paste right there. So right there is about lined up. Okay, so now if we go to our 3D view, you can see that we have our vias on all our pads, and as you can see, as I move this, you can see right through them because they are indeed holes straight through and they're filled with copper. And then if we go to the back, you can now see that our traces have connections to the pads. So there we go. Now we want to start putting components. So we want to make sure that we're on the top layer. Head over here to libraries. And what we want is a resistor. So we're going to go R. And we want a 0603 resistor. And click enter. And to me right now, because we're prototyping, it doesn't really matter which one we go. As you can see, our resistance value, 143, 43, 35.7, 18.8K. It doesn't matter. These are all the same size, all right? If we go from one to the next, they're all the same size. So I'm just gonna go and just pick any one. Now, the cool thing about this program here is you can see this little photograph here. You can click on that photo and it will bring you to the product page of the actual item that we're about to place. And it's, let's see. Okay, so like here's the data sheet if you wanted to see that. Some of these data sheets are better than others. But this gives you some of the values, like dimensions, and what the pads look like, what the construction material is. So there's that. This is not the resistor for this project. We're only using the footprint. But this is going to be good because we can place any of these resistors on there. So yeah, there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and place this one over here, and I'm going to place this one over here. And I'm going to right mouse click to get rid of placing any others. The reason for doing this is because they're going to be easier to select than to put them over here. You'd have to hide the bottom layer in order to select them easily. So I'm going to select this first one. As you can see there, you got to select right in the center here. We're going to go to rotation, and I'm going to put it at 270 and click enter. Now I'm going to grab it and put it right where I want it, right there. Okay, same thing with this one. I'm going to go with a rotation of 270, hit enter. The other thing I want to do here is see how it says R1 and R2. I'm going to click on that R1, and I don't want R1 shown, so I'm going to delete it and hit enter. Actually, I don't even know if I can do it that way. I think we got to go here. Let's see, prefix, display prefix, no. Okay. And I'm going to drag this one over here. I'm going to put it right about there. And see what I mean about grabbing the rear layer there? If you need to grab these, you can turn off that layer. So I'm going to put this one right in line with those vias there. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to put this in line with those vias there on the center pad. Okay. The other thing I'm going to do is display prefix, no. Okay. I'm going to put that bottom layer back. So now we want to connect these to the motor pads. So I'm going to go over here to track, and I'm going to go from this via right to that there. Right mouse click to do away with that. And I'm going to go from this via right to there. Okay, right mouse click to do away with the track. Now I'm going to select the track, and I'm going to go to attributes. And over here, you can select the width of the track. I'm going to go with, let's say 0.75 and see what that looks like. Update. Okay, that's a nice good track there. Same thing here. We're going to go to attributes, and we're going to change that to 0.75. Update. So that's 0.75 of a millimeter. Okay, so I want to get this kind of as straight as possible. There we go. Now you can see that this track is straight to that via. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna put the bottom layer back. Now we need a resistor. So let's go over to libraries. I'm sorry, we don't need a resistor. We need a LED. So we're gonna go with LED. Click enter. Now, as far as LEDs, we want something in the range of like 3 millimeters to 3 millimeters. I think it's 3.2 by 2.7, something like that. Like here's anytime you see 3528, that's a 3.5 by 28. That might be a good one we can use. And again, this is just a prototype right now. So, because I don't know what LEDs I'm going to use. So as long as this is proper, like this can work. So I'm going to go ahead and place 3 over here. And I'm going to place 3 over here. Okay. Right mouse click to get rid of that. And let's see, I'm going to go with 270. Rotation 270. These might actually be a little bit big. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to that in a moment here. 270. I think these will work. Okay, so let's get rid of the prefix display. No. Prefix display. No. And prefix display. No. So now what we're going to do is move these guys right here, and right here. Okay. And we can try to line these up as best we can. Just like that. Now what we can do is take our track. We're going to go from here to here. Okay. We do not want to go from here to here because that's going to bridge this. Our LED will not work. So we're going to have to start a new track from here to here. And then another new track from here to here. And as you can see, this one's a little offset. So we're going to select this LED, and we want to move it just a pinch there. Anytime you move it, I like to delete the track and grab a new one. So I want that track nice and straight. And now we started at, if we're going to label these pads, let's say this is A, this is B, this is C. We're going to go from B to A. Okay. B to A. And I want to see about getting this straight if I can. That's not going to. Okay. Something like that. Or maybe something like that. You normally don't want to do a 90-degree bend in a trace like this. So let's see. Something like that we'll do. Or we can move this like this. Okay. Something like that. So let's go back to the top layer here. The other thing we could have done is gone to this via and straightened it out a little bit. But that will work. Now, what we're going to do here is a little bit differently. We're going to select this. We're going to turn this off. We said 270, so we're going to go with, I believe, this 90 is going to work here. Okay, same thing with this one. We're going to turn off the prefix, and we want to go with a rotation of 90. Same thing here. We want to go with no, and we want a prefix of a rotation of 90. So if you notice what we're doing here, and this really doesn't matter because it's just going to put pads, but this is just showing you so you can see visually what direction you're having something go. The reason we're doing this is if we were to put all these LEDs going the same direction, they would flash all at the same time on and all at the same time off. So you might get a little bit of a strobe effect. But because this is alternating current, we can send current this way, light these up, and then send current back this way and light these guys up when this pad goes negative. So what that's going to do is it's going to alternate this row to this row, this row to this row, this row, excuse me, let me delete that, this row to this row, this row to this row. Okay, so this way there's always LEDs lit up. So the next thing that we want to do is go back to track, and we're going to place a track to that one. We're going to place a track from that one to that one. We're going to place a track from that one to that one. And then place a track from C to B. Okay? There we go. And now, if we take a look at our 3D view, there is our race wire. And you can just see our track running through there. And again, you don't want to connect these two pads. That's where your LED goes, but you do want these. Don't, do, don't, and do. And you can see our track coming through there. Okay. And now if we flip this guy over, there we go. Okay, so now that we've placed all of our components on this board, let's do something fun. First thing that we want to do here is go to All and go to Bottom Silk Layer. Then go over to the folder icon over here, and we want to go to Import Image. Select an image file. I'm going to select my logo. Okay, here's my logo here. It will convert it to a one color. And then what we want to do is change our image file. I want this 6x25 is fine. And then insert image to PCB. Okay, here's our image. So I'm going to single click to place it. I'm going to right click so we're not placing another one. Then I'm going to select it here and press spacebar to turn it. Perfect. Now what you're going to notice here is if I do this, and if we go to 3D view, and I flip this guy over, you're going to notice that it's backwards. Okay, that is not what we want. So we're going to go and click on our image again, and we're going to click flip horizontal. Okay, just like that. And now we're going to realign it there. Okay, so now if we flip this guy over, you can see our logo is proper. Sweet. So now we have what is a completed board. Okay, so we checked all our traces this way. We checked all our traces going back this way. We have our 3 LEDs this way. Our 3 LEDs going back. Our 2 resistors. We are ready to make this. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to click off a 3D view. Okay, go over here and click Save. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is right click on it. Excuse me. We're going to go over here, back to the folder, and we're going to go down to Generate Gerber File. Now, over here, you can do either yes, check DRC, or no, and just generate your Gerber. If we check DRC, it's going to give you like a lot of clearance issues and whatnot. And you could try to run through all these and fix them. Typically, I do this and I check. Like, to me, this is, you know, it's showing you that there's a clearance issue between this trace and this via. It's fine because that via is going to connect anyways. Okay. Same thing here. It's giving me a clearance issue between this via and this trace here. It doesn't matter because they're connecting anyways. So this might be a headache that you don't even need to worry about. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to generate Gerber file again, and no, we're not going to check that. Okay. Now it's going to ask you, do you want to order at JLPCB? And it's going to be $5. So we're going to go over to order at JLPCB. Order data generated finished. Please click OK. So we're going to click OK, and it's going to bring us right to JLPCB. And it doesn't matter. A Gerber file you can bring to any PCB manufacturer. This is who I use, and I have no affiliation with them. They got really good pricing. They got fast shipping if you choose it. Okay. So now here's where we get to do a bunch of cool stuff. Okay. So we check 2 layers. We check our dimensions are right. Okay. They only allow you to do in steps of 5. So if you're prototyping like I am, I just grabbed 5. You can do your PCB thickness. I go at 1.6, which is about average. Our PCB color, you can choose. I'm going to go with blue, or you can go with a yellow. You'll notice that the colors here are not the same colors that you choose here. And if you choose like a white, it will automatically move your labeling to a black. Here, you can do HASL with lead. You can do lead free, or you can do ENIG. And if you have questions about any of this, there's a question you can just kind of hold over. I go with HASL with lead. I might change that, but again, for just prototyping, it's not a big deal. 1 ounce copper. Gold fingers are, as you can see on the end there, we are not doing gold fingers. You can do a panel by them. I'm not quite sure what that is yet. Oh, okay. A panel is, you can have them come to you in one big sheet, or you can have it so that they're broken up individual pieces. So that is up to you if you want to do that or not. I don't think it costs anything extra. It shouldn't. To me, it shouldn't. Let's see. Okay, so it's going to ask me what size paneling. So, yeah, there's that. I'm not going to worry about that because we're not going to do that. I want them all broken up individually. So then there's the flying probe test. They're just going to run a test on that quickly. I don't even think that's going to take money off, so it's beneficial to do it. Castellated holes, we're not going to do any, but you can see those are for like the edge of a board if you wanted to do that. And then if there's different designs, you would select different designs. We're only doing one design, so we're staying there. Remove order number. A JLPCB puts like a tiny little order number on your PCB. If you don't want it there, you have to click yes, and it's going to be an added cost. And it's like $1.50 for them to remove it, which is weird because they're actually not putting it on there, but it is what it is. So there's that. Now for SMT assembly, you can click this and they will go and select your items. But because this is a prototype, we have no idea what LEDs we're using, and we have no idea what LED we're using. We don't know the resistor until we know the LED. If you know all that, and over here you've actually placed the pads for your LED and the pads for your resistor, when you select SMT assembly, they will do that for you. They will put it all together. A stencil, if you click this, it's going to add a little bit of bit to your total here. We're going to select what kind we want. What size do we want? Okay, our stencil side, top, bottom. What do we want? Do we want it electropolished? And again, I haven't done any of these, so there's etched through, half etched, customized size. So this is what a stencil is this is you can put over your PCB board. So when you're doing solder paste, you can just kind of swipe it onto the. Basically, it would cover this, and then there'd be little holes so that the solder paste would go through the holes. So this way, there's an equal amount of solder paste on each one of these pads. Okay, so in this case, we want to make sure there's no solder paste over these holes and no solder paste over these holes. And that's what all of this is all about. And I've never done this, so I'm not even going to begin to tell you how to do a stencil. But if you're prototyping like I am, you're just going to put little dabs of it and just be good, or you're going to solder direct using just a roll of solder. So in this case, I am not going to get a stencil. Once I know how to do a stencil, I'll show you guys how to do that. But right now, it's not something I am confident in speaking about. So there's that. So yeah, once you're done over here, it's just like ordering from a website, and I know you guys are smart enough to figure that out, so I'm not going to go through that. But as far as like shipping with these guys, I always go with the slow boat, and I think it'd be like $4 or $2, I think, for the actual 5 that we selected, and it's probably going to be like $6 for shipping or something like that. I don't know why this is taking so long. I didn't. Okay, yeah. So once you're done there, save to cart. I'm just curious what shipping is. So let's go see what shipping is. So this should be saving to cart. And again, I don't know why this is taking so long here. So I'm going to go to my cart, and it should show you. Yeah, here we are. So it's going to charge us $2 to ship 5 of these. So yeah, there's that. So I want to see, yeah, so without showing you my address and everything else, I don't know what shipping is going to cost, but shipping is reasonable when you do the slow boat. So but yeah, that's how to create a PC board from scratch to ordering it. So that's a look at how to prototype LED race wire. I've still got a mound of LEDs to test and see which ones I like. And then we got to put it all together. There's still some components that I need for that. I do have a book of resistors, so I got to do the calculations on that to find out what resistor we're going to need to run with what LED. But I mean, that was just a basic, just the bones of what an LED race wire is, and then we can just add LEDs to it, test it out, pull them off, add them, test them. What I think I'm gonna do, because I ordered, I think, like 5 PCB boards. I have, I think, like 3 or 4 different types of LEDs, so I'm just gonna do, one in each arm of a quad or something, and test them out that way, and see what they look like. And I'll choose out the best one, and then find the footprint to that specific LED and that specific resistor, and then go from there. So there's that. So yeah, so with that, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, click that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments below, are you gonna make your own race wire? Are you gonna wait for these? Are you excited for breaksteel branded products? Let me know in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what you think. And if you haven't done it already, go ahead and punch that subscribe button, because you only get to do it once, and it's fun, and I'll catch you later. Peace.